Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Anyone from XLR? Amit?
Yes, Amit is
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Pulkesh, senior manager is there. Amar would be there. Sushmita would be there from XLR.
Okay, so you can start. Amit, you can have the introduction, then I can start with the session.
Yeah, just give us probably Amar, how you have given the access to Mr. Anshu Kumar also.
Yeah, let me check. Yeah, I was just having a word with the Amar.
Yeah, I'm there. Amit, I'm there.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So, uh,
So,
Anshuji,
Anshu Kumar, if
should
you
we
can.
just a second,
Sorry.
Kirti. So, Anshuji, should we wait for 5 minutes for the first day to other students
Yeah,
to
yeah,
join in, or
yeah. Please wait. Please wait
okay,
for five
okay,
to
okay,
seven
okay.
minutes, and
Yeah,
then we will proceed.
Okay, fine.
yeah. Ranjit ma'am, just give us
Yes,
probably
yes.
5 7 minutes
5 minutes.
because today being the first and after the weekend, so
Oh,
probably
yes.
we just require to coordinate on the day one. And
Correct.
probably from tomorrow onwards, everything will be in sync.
In
Anyways,
sync, correct.
warm welcome to
Okay.
everybody. Just bear with us, all the students who has joined in. Just bear with us for all your other friends to join in, and those who are already aware that who your other friends are who are part of this particular program. Please do send across. Amar, if you team, can you if you can kindly flash the Zoom link note on the chat box. That would be probably easy for students to circulate across once more.
Sushmita, if you're there, just post the chat, post the link in the chat.
Ranjit, can you give me the co-host access?
Pardon, number?
Give me the co-host access.
Yeah, all the students who has joined in, I have just posted the today's joining link uh, in the chat box, so you can all circulate and Anshuji, if you can also once more check at your end one was the
Yeah,
circulation.
I just again I have notified them. I hope
Please,
they will
please.
yeah.
Sure. So no issues. Just give them a little bit of more buffer today. Sure, Anshu, sure. I have seen your message, so let's wait for another couple of minutes and then we'll start.
Yeah.
So we will start at sharp 10:10, 10 minutes past 10.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Amit sir, you can go ahead.
Perfect. Anyways, we are keeping the recording on as well, and today we will be also giving the LMS KT as well. So I hope nobody will be missing out, and gradually the cohort size will also increase. So anyway, those who are a little late, so they can also join in. So uh, with your permission, Professor Anshu, I'm then moving ahead with launching this student development program, right?
Yeah, yeah, please, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, a very good morning to all of you and a warm welcome from the team of XLR for the launch of this student development program that we are starting off today. So, just Dipti, if you can quickly confirm with me whether my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Amit.
Clearly
Yes,
visible and audible, sir.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, you should consider us as a partner to your journey from your classroom to corporate. I'm very sure all of you in next 6 months' time, you would all venture out into confirming of what kind of career path that you are getting in. And ultimately, over the next, 5 to 10 years of your formative years of your career, you would exponentially take a growth curve, and we want to be a partner to you all through this particular journey for your success in the corporate world, right? So in this with this aspiration, we XLR, in association with your coveted university KIIT, we are looking for this, upskilling for the future. And that's where one small step of launching the SDP or the Student Development Program on C Sharp and .NET, which will totally cover right from the basics to the advanced level. What I would be quickly covering in the next 2-3 minutes are about introduction of the resource person who would be with you for this entire journey, give you a very, very quick understanding about the excerpts of what you can expect in the learn. Of course, ma'am will give a more detailed outlay of the entire pathway. And of course, what would be your schedule and the tenure of this particular program. And finally, your participation is what is the essence of the success of this entire program. So the essence of it, I mean, when you look forward for when we look forward for your participation, when we look forward for this being a participative activity, if a little bit of an outcome expectations is clear to you, probably you would be also better aligned to this particular program. So first of all, I would start off with quick introduction of the resource person. Yes, that's the trainer who would be with you, ma'am Ranjit Kaur Maku. I would quickly introduce. So what kind of background she comes from, what is the kind of experience she has on this particular domain or the technology in which you are going to spend time with her over the next, couple of 1.5 months. So she is a Microsoft certified trainer, spending almost close to 2 decades in the corporate training world, has delivered .NET programs for CGI, Wipro, CTS, and many more corporates. Her specialization primarily is on the focused area of full stack with C Sharp, .NET, Azure, and web technologies. The tools and technological competence she brings along with her is having a wide spectrum, a wide gamut of area, right from C Sharp, ASP.NET Core, Model View Controller, Web APIs, SQL Server, Entity Framework, Azure, DevOps, and many more. So what we are looking forward for giving you the competence, or what you should look forward for gaining competence from this C Sharp and .NET Basic to Advanced course are, you know, and areas. I mean, I'm just giving you a very, very brief idea about, you should be that we should start off with the introduction to .NET Framework, Visual Studio, C Sharp fundamentals, data types, syntax, object-oriented programming in C Sharp, writing clean code, exception handling. These are basically the optimization areas: collection, delegates, events, links, file input, output, multi-threading, assemblies, ASP.NET, MVC I've already described earlier, web API, and project integration. So overall, we want you to be gaining expertise in the area of C Sharp.NET, not only from the theoretical point of view, but from the application perspective, which will be expected from you also. So the schedule and tenure. So what we have planned out is, as you understand, that the start date is today, that is 26th of May, 2025, Monday, the start of the week. And weekly, we will be conducting these sessions from Monday to Saturday. The timings will remain to be as of now planned as 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Going forward, we'll see the viability and feasibility, and based on that, we'll see that whether there is an alteration required or we are fine with this particular timing. The tenure would be a little stretched out, so it's an overall duration of between 90 to 100 hours, the entire curriculum, as it will distribute it into the basics and then moving on to the advanced features. And we are looking for a tentative closure by the mid of July, right? So finally, the outcome expectations. What we are looking forward that you should expect that end of this particular session, what should be your focused outcome objective? And the objective should be that embrace this learning to build full stack .NET apps and become career ready for venturing into a .NET developer or Azure roles, and also beyond that, right? So with that perspective, I think I should hand over the stage to the person who would guide you through this entire journey. All the best. Let the show begin. Thank you all. Have a great time. on this learning with XLR. Over to you, Ranjita.
Thank you, Amit sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Amit. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Good morning, everyone.
Dr. Anshu, would you like to, put up
Yeah.
any comments, or should we
Uh,
get going?
yeah, I wanted to just pass the message to the student, like as we have communicated earlier, this is the program, especially we are looking forward for the Volvo. Like they have the requirement, and as we have discussed with the XLR team, and Ronit Kaur, she is very much knowledgeable in this particular area, C# and .NET. So we have requested that Amish sir to finalize this. Trainer, and as well as to program, and so that all the student will grab that this Volvo opportunities, maybe in future, maybe they will look forward for the campus hiring as well. So that, as per now, we are not assuring it, but yeah, the knowledge is very important, not only for the Volvo, for the other companies as well. And this area is highly demanding, as you know that this C# is every most of the multinational organizations, they are looking forward that guys should be trained on this particular areas. They are skilled on this uh, particular .NET technology. So you have the very good opportunity, guys. So you need to be regular to the classes, and we are every day we are tracking your attendance, and if you are facing any doubts or anything, immediately ask to the trainer. She will be having that not only for the delivering the session and lectures, and apart from that, she will be clearing each and every doubts. So whatever you are facing related to the practical or theory, anything, any problem you are facing it, immediately you can reach out to the first trainer in the classroom itself, right? And afterwards, any managerial things, like if any support you need related to anything, that we are there, right? Okay, so that's all, guys. You just go ahead, and thank you so much, Amit sir and Ronit Kaur. Please just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Anshu. So, before starting off the tech session, just a couple of reminders to all of you, or rather, I would say, setting the quick expectation. Number one, as already mentioned by Anshu sir, you should always look forward every day. There should be, you should be looking forward for an outcome. So feel free to reach out to her whenever she, opens up the platform for you to comment or to put up the queries or anything. That is number one. Number two is that every day, end of the day, there would be a post of a QR code which would be posted out here, through which you should be putting across your attendance and as well as the feedback. And third, today itself, after the session, we will take around 15-20 minutes from our team to give you a complete understanding or a knowledge transfer with reference to the usage of the LMS. So whatever you are learning through the live platform will all get recorded, and it will be with you as a companion till the time you are there as a part of KIIT University. So, post session, ma'am, just wanted to give you
Yeah.
also the little bit of an idea that there will be a 15-20 minutes post 12 noon.
Okay.
Our team will take them through a KT session
Sure.
on the usage of the LMS, right?
LMS.
So,
Okay.
over to you, and have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you, everyone. So, good morning, everyone, all the participants. I hope I am audible to everyone. You can
Loud
please
and clear,
Yes,
confirm
ma'am, you are
that.
audible.
Yes. Okay, fine. So, already, Amit and Anshu had gone through what is the learning outcomes of this program. Okay, few things I would also like, okay, to mention before I start with the technical training on C# and .NET. Okay, so first of all, as already they have mentioned, okay, you must be present, see that you are attending all the sessions, you are completing all the assignments. There are some project topics, okay, which will be given to you. There are some learning materials, okay, the documentations link or whatever, the practicals I'm taking, I will be sharing that on the drive, which will be shared to you on the LMS. Okay, you will be getting the recordings. Please go through the recordings whenever you feel that you are stuck on a particular topic. Okay, you can go through the recordings or you can ask the query. Okay. And I also want everyone to be interactive in this session. So this is very, very important. Okay. Because if I will only go on teaching and you are not participating or not interacting, not asking the queries, okay, or you're not sharing the screen. Sometimes I will ask you to share the screen, okay, what you have done, the assignments or the or whatever coding okay practices I will be giving you, okay, not from today, maybe from tomorrow, because today we will be discussing about all the theoretical part of what is the .NET and .NET framework. Okay, so I want everyone to be participative, and this is very, very important, because once you participate you will have the queries only, that is going to increase your knowledge and learning. Okay, solve the problems, do the practicals as much as you can, because once you go on solving the errors, okay, whatever issues you're facing, actually you are learning, right? Anyways, we will be going through the session, and whatever topics we need to cover, we are going to cover. Based on that, please see that you are going through the documentation links which I'll be sharing for every topic. I'll show you that. Okay, what is the software installation if you want to install? Okay, how to install, the links, everything I'm going to share. Okay, so if any issues you can ask, but this is what I want to say, that please okay, make this session fruitful, okay, for you, so that later on you will be able to clear the interviews, okay, and you will be able to solve any particular coding challenge which is given to you, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Shall I start with the session? Yes. So please be interactive. Yes, you have to unmute whenever you want to, and you can ask the query. Fine. So let me start sharing with my screen. Okay. So as already I have discussed that I will be sharing a lot of other materials, okay, on everyday basis as when required. So please let me know that my screen is visible. Okay, I'm sharing the PPT.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
It's visible. Okay, thank you, everyone. So let us start with the C# and the .NET training, and I will be your trainer for this particular C# and .NET training. Myself, Ranjit Kaur, already has been introduced. Okay, so let's start. So what is the objective? What are the contents of the C# basic training? Okay, this is the part 1 of the entire training. C# advanced we will be taking later on. So in the C# basic, okay, we are going to cover introduction to .NET framework. Okay, what is .NET? What is integrated development environment? What is the IDE, Visual Studio? Okay, so we will be discussing about the various options, the features available in the IDE, how you have to make use of the IDE. Then we will start with the C# fundamentals, okay, which is the object-oriented programming language. Okay, so what are the basics in the C# that we will be understanding? Best practices, this is very important. Okay, whenever you create a program or you write a program, you need to follow some best practices. Okay, so we will discuss what are the best practices, how you need to write the code, which is the best way to write the optimized code. Okay, all this we will be discussing. Then coming to ADO.NET. Okay, so for this we need the SQL Server also. So as I said, before I start with the session, I'm going to give you all the links of the software installations, what is required. So ADO.NET is connecting your application with the database. And for that, we are going to make use of SQL Server database. Then coming to introduction to web applications. Okay, so creating the web applications, okay, using the particular templates available, using MVC architecture. Okay, so we'll be understanding how to create web applications which will be used or which will be opened on the browser. Before that, we are going to discuss only about console application for learning C# languages. Then introduction to Windows programming, okay, which is nothing but creating a graphical user interface. Okay, so how you will be creating a GUI, okay, in the using the .NET, that we are going to learn. And finally, introduction to web services. Okay, so this is introduction to web services, but more in detail we are going to learn this, okay, in the advanced part. right? About the different types of the web services, then what is the RESTful Web API, everything. So this is the content, okay, for the C# basic, right? I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now,
Yes,
this is,
ma'am.
yeah. Now, this is the file which I will be sharing, okay? And you will be getting that on the LMS. Okay, so I will just go through what are the softwares required, okay, for this particular training. So we are well aware of that you need 64-bit edition of Windows 10 or higher, okay? Then we need Microsoft SQL Server Express or the developer edition. And these are the links which are given. Okay, and there is one YouTube link also I have mentioned, so that if you want to go through, okay, how to install that, okay, following the proper steps, then this particular link also you can make use of. So I'm just going to show you once. Okay, so if you click on this particular link, it will go to the SQL Server download. Okay, so you can install this SQL Server 2022 developer, or for now, you can also make use of SQL Server 2022 Express Edition. Okay, this will also be okay. So once you download, okay, then you need to install it. And after that, you also need to use, in certain cases, if you need the SSMS, that is the SQL Server Management Studio, how to install that, that link is also provided. Please make use of the documentation links, okay, for every topic which I'll be giving. So every day, your task is to go through these links, right? So this is install the SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so all the steps are given here. Okay, so you can use these steps to install the SQL Server. And otherwise, okay, you can go to this particular YouTube link, okay, for installation. So this is required because we need the database so that we can connect our C# application to the database. Then we need Visual Studio 2022 Community Edition. You can make use of the Community Edition. It is freely available. You can download that. So this is the link available, okay, for downloading the Visual Studio. So you have got the Community Edition here. Okay, so free download, you can download that, because professional you will be having only free trial. Okay, understand? You need to make use of the Community Edition. Okay, so this is free download. And once you have downloaded that, then this is the link of how you can install the Visual Studio. Okay, all these are Microsoft documentation links given. See here. Okay, so you specifically important here is that you need to choose the workloads. Okay, so when you are selecting the workload, see that you are selecting ASP.NET and web development, because we are going to learn what is the web development. Okay, so this is one workload which you need to select. You need to select the .NET desktop development also. Why? Because this is required for creating the console application and your Windows application. Okay, so this is required workloads to be installed. Later on, if you want to have some other .NET components to be installed, workloads to be installed, then you can install that by going through the Visual Studio. Okay, that is available. That I'll show you later on how you can do it. So these are the individual components. Okay, sometimes when we need to make use of certain components, okay, for the program to run, we need to install that. So we can install the other components whenever we need to do it. Okay, so that we can do later on. So all the steps are given here. Okay, how to install this Visual Studio. Then after that, again, there is a YouTube link given. Okay, so you can go through this YouTube link and you can see the steps. You can follow the steps to install. Okay. This is .NET for Windows. This is actually not required, but I have given this link. Okay, later on, if you need to install, because this .NET will get installed once you are installing this Visual Studio. So as of now, it is not required. But okay, if you need to install this .NET 9, which is actually in the preview version, which is later coming, that is .NET 10 preview. So this is .NET 9 and .NET 8. So with Visual Studio 2022, when you are installing that, you will have this .NET Framework 8.0 installed. Okay, so we will be using this 8.0. So this link, another one I have given, and one more is for Visual Studio Code. Okay, so if you want to install the Visual Studio Code, now actually this you will be requiring later on for C# Advanced, for also doing the web applications, okay, like writing HTML, CSS or JavaScript or Angular, React, whatever front-end applications you're developing. So this later on, you can install the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so you have got Visual Studio. This is the code. So download for Windows is available, right? So if you want to, execute or run your C# program, you can do that in the Visual Studio Code also. But later on, we will be using this. And we can also make use of .NET CLI commands, okay, that we will see later on, that how you can, create the .NET applications, okay, using it. So as of now, for this particular training, what is required is the SQL Server and Visual Studio. Okay, so these two softwares are required for this particular session, okay, for this basic training, right? I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then I will be also sharing you this particular link. Now, this is for the first module topic. Okay, so we have got this particular training divided into different sections. So first section is all about the .NET framework. Okay, so what topics we are going to cover in this .NET framework? Okay, we will be discussing that. Okay, for first 2-3 days, and then we will start with the next topic. So for that, okay, these are the various links. These are the Microsoft documentation links given. You can have the entire, documentation PDF download, but it is easy for you to go through topic wise as of now. Okay, so direct links to that topic, what we are going to learn, I will be providing you that. Like the very first is what is .NET. Okay, so if you click on this particular link, it will take you to what is .NET. Okay, so this particular link will start. Okay, and again here, as you will see that you have got certain videos. Okay, it is very short videos. Okay, you can go through those videos, fine. And you have got more links. Okay, learn about .NET, then what is C#, learn about C#. Just get into the documentations. Okay, links for the various topics. Okay, or whatever we are going to cover. More than that, of course, you have to do that, right? So these links also I will be sharing. Okay, so once I'm giving this particular links, okay, I'm adding this onto the drive, then this will be added to your LMS and you can access this. Okay, so topic wise or module wise, section wise, whatever topics we are going to cover, I'm going to provide these links. Okay, these are the things, okay, which is important for you to understand. Now, what is the first topic we are going to start from today is Introduction to .NET Framework. Okay, only the first topic we are going to start today, Introduction to .NET Framework. And this topic will contain the subtopics, Introduction to .NET, what are the core components of .NET, .NET Framework Architecture, what are assemblies in .NET, then what is the execution model? Okay, CLR stands for the Common Language Runtime Execution Model. Library of pre-built classes and modules, memory management and garbage collection, and finally, okay, what are the advantages of using .NET? Okay, so why .NET is used? Okay, why developers are using .NET? Okay, other languages are also used depending on what is the project, okay, needs to be created, needs to be developed, what are the requirements, okay, because there are a lot of other the factors which needs to be considered, okay, that why this particular language needs to be used for developing a specific project. Okay, depends on obviously the different you can say the organizations, the different types of the project, okay, and a lot of other factors. Okay, so that we will be discussing later on. So these topic links I have shared in this Excel sheet. Okay, so one by topic, you can go through that later on after the session, right? Take your own time, but please go through these topics, right? So is this much clear to everyone now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone. Yes. Okay, fine. So once after the today's session, you will get the access, you will know about what is LMS, then you can access all these. Fine. So anyone, before I start with the session, anyone any particular knowledge you have got about what is .NET, you can discuss. Anyone? What is .NET? Any idea you are having?
No.
No? What other programming languages you have done earlier, everyone?
Python.
Python. Okay. What
JavaScript,
else?
Node.js,
JavaScript, Node.js. Right. Okay. Fine.
Java.
So Java. Right. Right. Okay. So let us start with the introduction to .NET. Okay. And I will also be using, okay, there are certain links what I have given. I will be also using that. Okay. Later on, you also need to go through it. Right. So what is .NET? Right. So before we start learning C# language, okay, we need to understand what is this .NET, what is .NET ecosystem, what is the different types of the applications which can be developed using .NET. Okay, so we need to understand that. So .NET is a free, open source, general purpose development platform maintained by Microsoft. Okay, so first of all, this is by Microsoft, right? It is a cross-platform framework that runs on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux operating system. Okay, now the .NET framework only, okay, when it initially was started, that was only running on Windows. But when we talk about .NET, it is a cross-platform, means you can create the application for different operating system. Now to just make you understand that how this is possible. Okay, now this is the Visual Studio, okay, which is already installed here. So when you select create a new project, okay, when you select create a new project, you will have here the different platforms, okay, on which platform you need to create the application. And you can select the language from here, what type of application you need to develop. Okay, so as you can see here, you can select the Linux, you can select Mac OS, and we can select Windows. Now by default it will be creating for Windows only because we are using Windows operating system. Okay, so please remember that we are going to use Windows operating system only, and we are going to create the applications for Windows. Okay, so it is a cross-platform framework that runs on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux operating systems. .NET can be used to build different types of applications such as mobile, desktop, web, cloud, IoT, that is Internet of Things, machine learning, microservices, games, etc. Now, if you again come to this web API, okay, you have got the different types of the projects which you can develop using .NET. And what we are going to start, okay, we are going to start with the console application. Now, this is to learn the C# language. After that, you can go to the desktop application if you want to create the GUI, okay? And then we have got the web application. Okay, so this is creating the web applications which will be running on browser, and this is a web API. This is used to create the web service. Okay, that is the RESTful service. So different type of the applications you can create. Similarly, you can select the type of the language, okay, what you need to make use of. So we are going to learn C#, but there are other languages available what you can make use of to develop the application. So remember, what we are going to learn in this particular training is only using the C# language. We will be using Windows operating system, and we are going to use 3 different types of the application here. Okay, so first is console, desktop, okay, then web. Okay, and then finally in the advanced part, you are having the web API. Okay, so these are the type of the applications. Yes.
And just like we have different types of JavaScript libraries for desktop application development and web development, and for app, especially we have React Native, for example. So
Right.
For .NET, there is only one framework and all other platforms you can create, right?
Right, right. So we will discuss about that. Okay, good question. We are going to discuss about that, how you can create this different, applications using different languages using the same .NET platform. Okay, so we are going to understand that all ecosystem, okay, in this session, right? So at its core, .NET provides an environment for developers to build and run applications. It acts as a bridge between the code and the underlying operating system. So instead of writing the code directly for a specific operating system, code is written for the .NET platform, which then handles the translation and execution. Now you may think, okay, if we have got so many languages, okay, that means do we need to install so many compilers? It's not like that. Okay, the compilation and the execution process of the .NET application is completely different. So you don't have to install the different compilers for different languages. Okay, so that is what is, the advantage, right, of using this .NET platform. So now if you go to this particular link, what is .NET? Okay, so it is already mentioned here. So .NET is a secure, reliable, high performance application platform. It is the programming, C# is a programming language for .NET, because this is what was newly developed, okay, by Microsoft for this .NET platform. But the developers who are comfortable with VB, because VB was the first language, right? So they have got VB.NET. They can make use of VB.NET. And similarly, there are other languages, right? So it's strongly type safe and as integrated concurrency and automatic memory management. So if you click on learn about .NET, again, it will take you to the .NET documentation link, okay? So later on, you can go through what is this .NET again, okay? Please remember that. Go through these links. Now, coming to evolutions and implementation. Now, coming to your question, okay? So we have got the .NET framework. Now, this was what initially launched in 2002, okay? So original implementation of .NET released by Microsoft in 2002, primarily designed for Windows applications and included a rich set of libraries. Okay, now there are lot of libraries, okay, which you need to make use of for developing a particular application. Okay, so what is the NuGet package manager, that we will be discussing later. So original implementation is .NET Framework. Then came .NET Core. Now this .NET Core is what was developed for cross-platform. Okay, so launched in 2014, .NET Core was a reimagining of .NET designed for cross-platform support. Till .NET Framework, the applications were developed only for Windows. But from .NET Core, it was cross-platform and optimized for modern cloud-native applications, microservices. Again, microservices, you will be learning in advance when you will deal with the web services, web API, because the monolithic applications are not developed. Okay, so your entire application will consist of different services, okay, which are known as the microservices. So one service will be only for, let us say, customer. One service can be related to only product. Okay, one service can be related only to authentication, and this can be created using different programming language, different platforms, and this can be connected from your front end. Okay, so now understand one thing. Now, whatever applications are developed in the organization following the agile methodology, okay, all are using microservices. Because again, okay, you can have the microservices developed in Java also, like Java, okay? So you can make use of Java. Some microservices you can create in .NET. And both these microservices can be now called from your front end, which can be Angular or React or any other front end. Okay, so this is very, very important concept. And containers, because you will be deploying your microservices onto the containers. Okay, so it was open source from the beginning. So .NET Core is cross-platform. Okay, now understand, now you are not going to use the term .NET. Now it is known as only .NET, and that is what I have taken earlier. Now this is unified. Okay, so starting with .NET 5 released in 2020, Microsoft unified .NET Framework and .NET Core into a single open source cross-platform simply called .NET. So now only the term .NET is used. Understand? Okay. So this eliminated the core designation and aims to provide a single consistent experience for all the .NET development. New versions are released annually. So just now, what I have shown you when I have gone through that links of the softwares which you need to install. Okay, so the version which is in the preview is 10. Okay, because every year the new versions will be developed, right? So remember one thing, going forward, you have to make use of the .NET only, okay? Not the .NET Core or the .NET Framework. Only make use of .NET. That is the unified. So it is combining .NET Framework and .NET Core both, okay? And then there is one more implementation, that is the Xamarin or Mono. Now this is for developing the mobile applications. Okay, so this is the .NET implementation for running apps on all the major mobile operating systems, including iOS and Android. Okay, now these are the implementations given. Fine. So if you go through this particular link again, what is the .NET framework? This is introduction to .NET. It will cover all this. Okay, I'll come back to these links later. So these are the evaluations and the implementation. So if I go through what in this link itself, okay, you can also go to this. Why .NET? Okay, what is .NET? Why choose .NET? Who uses .NET? So if you click on what is .NET, okay, so this is the same link here. Learn about .NET. If I go to this link, open in a new tab, okay, so it will take you to introduction to .NET. Okay, and then you have got all the other, you can say the topics mentioned here, and you can go through these topics, right? So we will see what is the C# language, which is given here later on. Okay, so as we have now understood that we are going to make use of C# for learning. So C# is a modern, safe, object-oriented programming language. Okay, we will learn in detail C# later on. Cross-platform, this is what I just discussed now. .NET is supported on Android, Apple, Linux, and Windows operating system. So it's available in several Linux distributions like Red Hat, Enterprise Linux, and Ubuntu. Then we have got libraries. We talked about libraries. So .NET includes a standard set of libraries and APIs, ranging from collections to networking to machine learning. And for all that, okay, implementations, you have got the different libraries. And from where we are going to get that? NuGet. So NuGet is the package manager for .NET and contains over these many packages. And you can add more, okay? And then what types of the applications can be built using .NET? Okay, you can develop web applications, mobile, desktop, artificial intelligence and ML, cloud, microservices, game, Internet of Things. Okay, so what you will be learning? Desktop applications and microservices, okay, in advance. Then community support is available because it is open source. Okay, so you can also join the .NET community. Then the tools I discussed, we have got the Visual Studio Code also, but you know, it is good to make use of Visual Studio. Okay, if you want to develop the full-fledged application by creating the DLLs and the EXEs, okay, and all the other features. So Visual Studio is what, you know, I will recommend you to use. .NET CLI is command line interface. Okay, later on, once we will start creating the applications, I will go through various commands to use for creating this application using the CLI, and other tools are available. Okay, and why choose the .NET? Find out why customers all over the world in many different industries rely on .NET. So if you go to this option, why choose .NET? Okay, you will have this particular video, and these are the you know, some points given like productive, any app, any platform, and it is loved by developers. Okay, so we will discuss this in the advantages part later on, right? So this is what is the .NET. Understand, this is only .NET we are talking about. Okay, still more is remaining to understand of this. Now coming to the core components of .NET. Okay, so we have got the languages. Just now I have shown you what are the different languages which are used. .NET runtime. Now, this is very, very important component of the .NET. Okay, so .NET runtime, which is known as the common language runtime. Okay, can anyone tell me about how your Java applications are compiled and execute? What is used in Java? How
Ma'am,
your
they
Java
use JRE.
applications?
It uses
And
JRE,
what is JVM?
the Java Virtual Machine.
Virtual
Okay,
machine.
so what is Java Virtual Machine? Is it platform independent or platform dependent?
It is platform independent.
Independent.
Ma'am, JVM is platform dependent, but Java language is basically independent.
Right. So how it is platform independent?
Ma'am,
Why
if
you
it
can
is
say that it is platform
installed,
independent? Yeah.
ma'am, if JVM is installed in the computer, then you can run Java anywhere. It just compiles and executes an exe file, and that is then that could be run in any other device.
No. So what about if I want to run Java on different operating system? So is the same JVM used?
Ma'am, JVMs are different for each other. Like
JVMs are
Java is
different.
compiled to a bytecode which is run into a different
So you can
operating
say
system.
that JVM is different for different operating system, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So similarly, CLR is like your JVM. Okay. Now this is the heart of .NET. So you can say that it is like a JVM of Java, right? So heart of .NET, responsible for managing the execution of .NET applications. We are going to discuss all this in detail. Again, there are some components inside it. Okay, what it is including, what task this CLR is actually doing, right? Then there is a .NET class library, which is known as the base class library. And there is one more, okay, which is known as the framework class library, that is known as the FCL. So this is base class library, a vast collection of reusable classes, interfaces, and value types that provide fundamental functionalities for common programming tasks like Java. You are making use of the packages, and what packages contains? Okay, packages will contains the different classes, right? You will have for different particular task. Okay, so similarly, we have the BCL in .NET, okay, which will be containing the different classes, interfaces, delegates, okay, everything which will be required. Like if you want to connect your application to the database, just now I have told you earlier that we need SQL Server. For that, we need ADO.NET. Okay. Similarly, if you want to connect your application and store the data into the files, we are making use of the files that is available in one particular library. For different tasks, different libraries are available. BCL, base class library. Application model frameworks, specialized frameworks on top of the base libraries to build different types of applications. Already I have shown you what different types of the applications you can build, okay, on top of this particular CLR. Okay, so we have got console, desktop, libraries, and number of, you can say, the applications, right? So these are the core components of .NET. Now let us understand this one by one. Okay, so first is C#. It is written as C#, but it is pronounced as C# also sometimes. The most popular and primary language for .NET development. It's a modern object-oriented language. Since you have already done Java, okay, you are aware of what is object-oriented programming. What are the features of object-oriented programming? Okay, that is strongly typed and type safe. When I say that it is strongly typed and type safe means what? Means that you need to make use of the data type. Okay, like unlike JavaScript, where you don't define a data type when you create a variable, when you declare a variable. Okay, so the data type in JavaScript will be inferred depending on what value you are providing. Right. So it is not strongly typed, it is loosely typed. We will say JavaScript is a loosely typed language. But C# is strongly typed. You need to declare a variable with the data type. Yes. Now with .NET, you can use the loosely type, okay, implementation by using the where keyword like JavaScript in .NET also. That we will discuss that why we have to use that, right? So that is strongly type and type safe. Okay, so you cannot use any particular value which is not compatible with the data type. Okay, so that strong type checking will be done by the CLR. So it is strongly type and type safe with features like automatic memory management. Okay, this is garbage collection, which we'll be discussing later in detail that how garbage collection actually works in the .NET. Okay, with features like
Volvo देगा या XLR देगा सर्टिफिकेट पे किसका नाम रहेगा
please mute yourself, everyone. Please mute. Somebody is not muted. Can you please mute? With features like automatic memory management and integrated concurrency. Okay, what is concurrency? Multiple tasks is going to run simultaneously. So asynchronous programming, okay, multi-threading is implemented. It is built in the C# language, right? Its syntax is familiar to developers from C++, Java, and JavaScript. If you know Java, understand C# is not difficult because the syntax, what you're going to learn for C# is very much similar what you have done with Java. Okay, so there is no difference. Fine. F#, it is a functional first programming language that also supports object-oriented programming, but it is used for very much complex algorithm, data intensive application like big data analysis and all. Okay, machine learning, AI. VB.NET, as I already discussed, VB was the language which was used earlier by the developers. Okay, so those who are comfortable with VB, they can easily learn VB.NET. They can use VB.NET. Okay, and that is why this VB.NET has been kept. So an evolution of the classic VB, providing an object-oriented language with a syntax designed for ease of use. And there are other languages like in this particular drop down list of the languages, there are other languages also available and you can make use of these other languages, right? While Microsoft officially supports the aforementioned languages, .NET supports the Common Language Infrastructure, CLI, which means many other languages can be compiled to run on .NET. Example, we have got Iron Python, which is the Python implementation, Conjure CLR, Iron Ruby, PowerShell, JScript.NET. All these are the .NET implementations. Okay, so what we are going to learn is C#, right? That is the first part, okay, of the core component, that is the languages. Now, very important part is the .NET runtime, Common Language Runtime. It is known as CLR in short. Okay. So now let me go to the another topic here. So let me just go to what is introduction to .NET. Okay. .NET core languages, later on you can go through that. Right. And here you have got the component section. Later on, please go through these components. Okay. It is mentioned here. .NET languages. Okay. .NET class libraries. Everything is mentioned here. Fine. But once the session is completed, later on, please come to these topics. Okay. Then we have got what is .NET framework. Okay. Right. Now here they are talking about what is common language runtime. I will come back to this .NET framework later on. Okay. So let us first understand from here. Now, this is the heart of .NET, responsible for managing the execution of .NET applications. Just-in-time compilation. Now, this is what is done. Okay. Code written in C#, F# or VB.NET is compiled into an intermediate language called Common Intermediate Language, CIL, which was earlier known as MSIL. Please remember these terms. Okay. So earlier, this was known as Microsoft Intermediate Language, MSIL, but now it is known as only CIL, Common Intermediate Language. Okay. The CLR then uses a JIT, just-in-time compiler, to translate this CIL code into the native machine code at runtime. So if you talk about the languages like C, C++, okay, what is done? You are writing the code of C, you are compiling it, you are executing it. Now that is optimized for the processor on which you are compiling and executing that. If it is a P2 processor, it is optimized for P2. If it is P3, it is optimized for P3. Okay, but what happens in the case of C#? Whatever applications you develop in this language, it is all going to compile into one that is known as CIL, which is understood by the CLR. And then what you need to execute, what code needs to be executed, that is going to be converted to the machine language by JIT. Okay. The CLR then uses a JIT compiler to translate this CIL code into native machine code at runtime, optimizing it for the specific hardware and the operating system. So if you now see this particular diagram over here, what you see? You write the code in C#, you write the code in F#, or you write the code in VB. Okay, now this is what I had told you earlier. You are not supposed to install the different compilers for these different languages. It is already there in the CLR. It is a task of the CLR to compile this and make it into the common intermediate language. Okay, so that is CIL. After that, there is a common language runtime. So what I told, this particular CIL, okay, intermediate language, is something which is understood by the common language runtime. And then this is going to convert to the machine code by making use of JIT, just-in-time compiler. Again, in detail, we are going to discuss this, okay, how this is working. This is just, the basic of how this particular compilation and the execution is done, right? So this is the first thing. Automatic memory management, garbage collector, GC. Anyone, what is memory management? If you talk about C or C++, how the memory is managed? Yes. How the memory management is done in C and C++? Hello, please mute others, those who are not answering
Ma'am,
this.
if there are allocations done in the RAM, then if they are not utilizing, if we are not utilizing that memory, then we have to either reallocate where we are going to use it, or we have to free it. Otherwise, if we kept holding, if we keep holding the memories, then it might happen that when we are allocating new memories, we might not get
right.
memories to put
So
variables.
whose task is to free up the memory, allocate the memory?
Ma'am, sometimes
sometimes.
it is
right. But
manual,
developer
we
needs to
do.
write the code. Agreed?
Yes,
Developer is
yes,
writing
we
the
have to
code
do it
for,
manually.
yes, you have to do it manually. But in .NET, developers are not supposed to do this. Okay, and it is done by the
Yes,
CLR.
like Java, there is a
Like
garbage
Java.
collector, right?
Correct. But it's not that you cannot write the code which is having a pointer manipulation. Yes, you can write that, but you have to make use of the unsafe block. So if you're using the block which is unsafe, okay, that is a keyword, unsafe, then you can have the pointer manipulation code written in C#, but that is not supposed to be done unless and until it is required. Okay, so like Java, in .NET also, the CLR will manage the memory management. So CLR includes a garbage collector that automatically manages memory allocation and deallocation. So this prevents common programming errors like memory leaks and simplifies development. Later on, when we'll be discussing about this in detail, okay, that how this is done, Okay, because there is a process, there is an algorithm which is followed by the .NET framework. Okay, different generations are there. Okay, the objects which are not in use, that will be deallocated by the framework periodically. There is a finalized method, there is a dispose method available. When you have to use this dispose method, all this we will be discussing later. So as of now, you have to remember that one of the tasks of the CLR is memory management. Okay, exception handling. Like Java also, you have done exception handling. Okay, that is handling the exceptions at runtime. So every program, what you write, you will have the syntax error. Obviously, every programming language needs to follow some syntax, the semantics of that language. Okay, so if your code is not correct, then you will get a compilation error. You have to solve that error. Okay, this is the syntax error. Compile time errors you will be getting. Another type of the error is logical errors. What is logical errors? It is not the compilation error. Your code is getting compiled properly, but you are getting a different output. Okay, that is what is a logical error. Your logic is not correct. If you have to get A, you're getting B. That means your actual result is not what is expected. Okay, and this is going to fail the test. Fine. So that is a logical error. And you need to debug your code to understand that why, okay, you're getting a different output. And third is the runtime exceptions, which will be the exceptions given when you will run your program. So exception handling is again one of the best practices you need to follow when you write a code. So provides a robust mechanism for handling errors and exceptions during the program execution. And this is handled by CLR. Type safety, I discussed about this earlier, enforces strict type checking to prevent errors related to incorrect data types, enhancing application stability and security. Security provides mechanism for CAS, that is the code access security. That means you will not be able, okay, to perform any actions if, okay, that particular permission is not set or access is not given. Controlling what actions code can perform based on its origin and the permission. So these are the tasks which is done by the CLR. So remember, your .NET compilation and execution process is done by the CLR. And this is one of the core components in the .NET. Okay. Now coming to .NET class library, which is known as the BCL. A vast collection of reusable classes, interfaces, and value types that provide the fundamental functionalities, okay, for certain programming tasks. This include libraries for input-output operations. See, these are some of the libraries we have, I have mentioned here, but you have got many other, okay, that we will discuss later on. Whatever libraries we need to make use of, okay, we will use that in our applications. So input-output operations, file handling, streams, networking, you need to create the application, which is a client-server application, HTTP communication sockets, data access, okay, the traditional way of connecting your application to the backend is ADO.NET. But later on, okay, you need to learn what is the entity framework, okay, ORM, object relational mapping. So entity framework library is used. User interface controls, cryptography for encryption, decryption, data structures and algorithms. Data structure is again very, very important when you write the code. Okay, different types of the data structures are available depending on how the data must be arranged in the memory, how it will be utilized. Okay, so different types of the applications will use different types of the data structures, right? And algorithms. So libraries are available for them. XML processing, extensible markup language, which is platform independent, which is used for used in the configuration files, okay, used in data transfer. Similarly, JSON, JavaScript object notation, and more. Okay, so the list actually is endless. But the concept you need to understand that there are the libraries available, okay? And these libraries will be containing the classes, interfaces, delegates, value types, everything what you need to use in your application. BCL significantly speeds up development by providing ready-to-use components, okay? So it is going to make use of these components, and your development task, okay, will be easy. Finally, we have got application model framework. So if you go to the this one, okay, so we have got languages, the CLR, the BCL, and then finally we have got application model frameworks. So what is that? .NET provides specialized frameworks on top of the base libraries to build different types of applications. Okay, so some of these applications we will be creating. ASP.NET for building web applications and services, ActiveX server pages, okay, website, REST APIs, single page application. It supports various web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, with features for authentication, security, and the MVC architecture. Model view controller. Okay, so we will be discussing about that later on once we will start with what is ASP.NET. Xamarin.NET multi-platform app UI for building native cross-platform mobile applications for iOS, Android, Mac OS, Windows from a single C# code base. Windows Forms, WinForms, or Windows Presentation Foundation for building traditional desktop application for Windows. WPF will be having more features. It is going to make use of DirectX implementation, okay, for building the web applications with more enhanced features. Universal Windows Platform, UWP, for building applications that run across the Windows devices, different devices. You can install that, okay? PC, Xbox, which is a gaming console, then HoloLens, okay, which is using the virtual reality, okay, using the augmented reality, okay, using AI. So that is for developing that type of the applications. A desktop app for creating native apps for Windows and Mac OS. Game development integration with engines like Unity. Internet of Things for building applications for IoT devices. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, support for building intelligent applications. Okay, so what different types of the applications, okay, can be developed using .NET. And that is what initially I have just given you, okay, the overview of that, that you can use the language of your choice, okay. So we are going to use C#. You can use the platform. Okay, so we are going to make use of Windows. Even though you don't select Windows, it will be creating for Windows only. Then the type of the application, what you need to create. Okay, so we can select from here the type of the application. So we will be selecting the console application. So you will be getting both this, right? So this console app, understand, this console app is .NET application, means this is cross-platform. So when you use the console app, it is mentioned C# language will be used, Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and console application will be created. So all the three operating systems are mentioned here. But if you go to the console app, in the bracket, it is mentioned .NET framework. Then this is only going to create the application on Windows, for Windows. Okay, so what we will be using, okay, once we will start learning C#, we have to use this console app, which will be creating the cross-platform console application using C#. Okay, so whatever you select, if you are selecting here web, you will be getting the templates for creating the web applications. If you are selecting test here, you will be getting the template for creating the test project. Okay, where you will be writing the unit test cases to test your functions, right? For the expected and the actual output. And you can see, okay, how many test cases passed, how many test cases failed. Then web API, okay, for creating web services, right? So this is what we will be learning later on, right? Any questions? So I think there is a, I'm just going to stop the share for 2 minutes, okay? I hope till here everyone is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. There was a question asked by Akshat Jain. Is console app, okay? Any application model? I mean, it can be anything like console app is for creating a console application, okay? So we have already discussed that what is used for creating the web application, what template you will be using for the mobile application. That will be using Xamarin, okay, or Mono. Who had written this? Kaustav, could you please inform whether certificate that will be getting at the end of this program? No, this is not from Volvo. Okay, yeah. That will be, communicated to you later on, okay, by your university or XLR. This is not from Volvo. I hope this is clear. Am I right? Okay, fine. Everyone, till here, everything is understood
Yes,
about
ma'am.
Yes,
.NET?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
clear.
And that
Please let me
is
know if I'm going fast or I'm going slow or I need to maintain the speed. I'll do that. Okay. So this much is clear to everyone, correct? Can I
that
ask a
base
few
class
questions?
component, is it similar to like React components we use for web development?
Pardon?
That base class components are
Yeah.
they similar to the React components we use, like that are already built-in components for web development?
No, that React is different. Huh? In React, you create a component which will be having, like in Angular also, okay, different parts. So this we are talking about the libraries which are available. Okay. These are the libraries which are available, right, in the BCL.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Ma'am, for the web development part, so after developing the prototype in localhost, what is the procedure for deployment? Like which technology will be using for deployment?
See, you can deploy on IaaS or you can deploy on the cloud as well. Okay. And with .NET Framework, there will be the inbuilt Kestrel server on which your applications will be deployed. But if you want to make use of another server like IaaS, you can make use of it. You can deploy on the cloud like Azure. You can deploy applications there also. Okay.
And can we also deploy it using serverless functions?
That is the Azure part, na?
Okay.
That is Azure part, because in Azure, what you are having the server, which is either a virtual machine, or you can have containers, or you can have the serverless function. Okay, so we will see the applications, okay, which are built using .NET. Okay, how to create that applications in .NET. Fine. Is this much clear to everyone? Okay, understand your all queries. We will be doing it one by one. Okay, how we will be creating the application, where you are supposed to write the code. Yes, and then how you're going to compile that. I'll show you once here, okay, a short particular application. Then later on it is web application, then you will have finally the Azure part. Okay, so one by step by step you go through it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'll share my screen and let me just finally go to this .NET ecosystem, and then I'll show you how to develop an application. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, let me know that my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So finally, now I will be talking about the entire .NET ecosystem. Okay. The .NET ecosystem is a comprehensive and unified platform developed by Microsoft for building, okay, the applications and running the applications across different environments: web, desktop, mobile, cloud, gaming, IoT, and AI. Okay, now if you talk about this, okay, we have got the .NET framework, then .NET Core and the Xamarin. This is what okay, is mentioned here. So if you come back to this particular link, okay, so we have got the .NET framework, we have got the .NET, and then we have got Xamarin and Mono. Now, this is what I have discussed earlier, that there are the different implementations. .NET platform is a big umbrella, understand? And under that, you have got the .NET framework, .NET, and the Xamarin and Mono, okay? So if you will see this .NET framework, okay, what is mentioned here, this is the .NET framework, the first part, then .NET Core, and then Xamarin. But now this .NET Core is actually known as the .NET only. Okay, so if you will see here, what it is written, .NET Framework is the original implementation of .NET. It supports running websites, services, desktop apps, and more on Windows. Only .NET is a cross-platform implementation for running websites, services, and console apps on Windows, Linux, and macOS. .NET is open source on GitHub. Okay. .NET was previously called .NET Core. And Xamarin and Mono is a .NET implementation for running apps on all the major mobile operating systems, including iOS and Android. So remember, there are different implementations for different types of the applications. You're not going to use only one. Okay. And then we have got .NET Standard. So if you will see here, using .NET Framework, you can develop console application, WPF, Windows Form, ASP.NET. Using .NET Core, you're developing your universal Windows platform application, ASP.NET Core. So if here it is only written ASP.NET, and here it is written ASP.NET Core. Okay, then Xamarin, iOS, OS, Android. And then we have got something known as a .NET Standard Library, which is used by all of these three. Okay, as per the diagram, as you can see, this is something which needs to be implemented by all these three. So .NET Standard is a formal specification of the APIs that are common across .NET implementations. This allows the same code and libraries to run on different implementations. Okay, so this is required. Then there is a common infrastructure, build tools, okay, how you will be building your applications, languages, what you can make use of, and the runtime components. That will be different. Okay, so we are only talking about the .NET now. So now let me show you one sample application. So what we are going to do, we are going to select the console application from here. Okay. So we will be taking the console app from the beginning, a project for creating a command line application that can run on .NET on Windows, Linux, and macOS. Okay. Select this, click on next. And in the Visual Studio also, I'll show you the options available. Okay, like if you want to have a different other component installed, how you can do that. So you need to give some project name. Okay, so remember that follow some best practices when you create the applications. Okay, give proper name for the application. If you are working on a particular project, give that particular project name. Okay. If you're working on the particular topic, you can give that topic name because the folder structures can be created inside it. Okay. So what I can do is I can simply give the name as console application. Okay. Then where you need to create it. So I will always use a different folder. Okay. Don't create in the default, because if you're having a particular folder, okay, then it will be better. Okay, so like demo, I will be creating in this particular part. Okay, and the solution name. Now, what is the solution? Solution is the container. Solution is the container. Okay, and within this container, you can add different types of the application. Okay. So this solution will be created, and within this solution, the console application will be created. Okay. Now place solution and project in the same directory. If you are selecting this, then your solution name will not be there. Only the project name will be there. Okay. So I will be having the solution name also because I want to show you how you can add a different project. Next.
Can you
Now,
explain the solution name again?
see here, solution name is what? Again, one more thing. If you will click on this icon, you will see a solution is a container, as I said, for one or more projects in Visual Studio. Okay. So if I'm going to write here console application solution, I will change the name. Okay. So that you will know now. So I'm giving a different name. Click on next. Now in this, you will have the framework. Okay. So if you click on this target framework, now what I'm getting, .NET 8 long-term support. So when you are going to install Visual Studio 2022 Community Edition, as I said, you will be getting this .NET 8. Okay. .NET 7 is out of support now. Then container support, we are not going to use container as of now. So don't select this. If you're selecting enable container support, then you have to specify the container. Okay, what is the OS, builder type, Docker file, that is the later part. Okay, advanced part. Now, there are two options given here. Okay, do not use the top level statements. Okay, and if you will select this, you will see that what exactly it is. Okay, so this is nothing but whether the main function should be created or not. Okay, I'll show you both the examples. Okay, so do not use the top level statement means the main function will be created. Okay, then enable native AOT publish. Okay, ahead of time. This I will be discussing later. As of now, don't select this. Okay, so whether to enable the project for publishing as native AOT. So click on create. So initially, don't select other options. Okay, only select the framework. And if you want the main function and if you don't want the main function, that is what this top level statement. Okay. So now what will happen? You see that you are getting a project created. Okay. See here, there is a project created. If I will close all this, if you are having the window like this, okay, go to view, click on Solution Explorer. So if you click on the Solution Explorer, you will get the solution. Okay, so what is the solution name? This is a console application solution. Okay, and I'm not able to, yeah, console application. And within that, I have got a console application project. Remember, in this solution, you can add, right click, add different projects. You can go on adding the different projects. Okay, within a solution. So it is a container. Sometimes you need to add the other libraries here. Okay, so one by one, we will do that. Now, this console application is your project. And this is the exe. Okay, that is the assembly. I'm going to discuss about that, right? Console application. Then here you will see the dependencies. Okay, you will see the frameworks here. So what is the framework taken? Microsoft.NET Core.app. This is the framework. Then the analyzers. Okay, which will be used for analyzing the code. And this is the default program.cs file. Since it is a CS, that is a C# language. So the extension to the file is CS. And if you double click on this program.cs, it will open the editor on the left side. Okay, so now what you see here is a very simple console application. Okay, so here there is a namespace console application. Understand? Like in Java, you have got package. Same here, it is known as namespace. Don't get confused. Okay, it is similar. Now, namespace will contain the collection of different classes, interfaces, delegates, whatever you need to create. Okay. Now, you have got some predefined namespace, like we have got system namespace. Okay. That is the implementation of a DLL, right? And now, whatever project you create, that project itself is a namespace. Okay, and the class name is program by default. Internal is the access specifier. C# will contain public, private, protected access specifier, plus it will also have internal access specifier. Okay, so by default classes are internal. So if you don't write the internal keyword, it is internal. That means internal to this assembly. Okay, console application, right? And then you have got the main method here, static void main. Now, what is the difference? Can you identify the difference of main with Java and C#? What is the difference?
Ma'am, here it's internal, but in Java it's public static void.
What other?
M is capital.
M is capital. This is okay.
In the string dogs also.
Yes. Main is, in Java, main is small, correct? M is small. In C#, M has to be capital. Okay. Another thing is, in Java, what is the main method? Okay, in a class, in particular, file. And you have to save the file by that name itself. But in C#, it is not like that. Okay, you can save the file by any name, not required that it should be saved as the same name where the main method is there. Third thing, in C#, you can have the overload main method. So if you don't write this string args, it is completely okay. You are not going to get any compilation error here. Okay, so you can write static void main and console.writeLine. It is like your system.out.println. In Java, what you are writing, println is a method. Here, writeLine is a method. Console is a class. Okay, so here this console class belongs to the system namespace. It is not required to be written, but in the earlier versions, you will see something like this, using system. Okay, now what you are writing in Java, import. What you are writing here, using system. So system is a pre-built namespace. It is a predefined namespace which is available. Okay, and then you have got the class program. Then you have got the main method. Console is the class available within the system namespace, and this represents the standard input, output, and the error streams for console application. This class cannot be inherited. Okay, and then what is WriteLine? It is a method. WriteLine method, which is having 17 overloads. Why? Because in the WriteLine method, you can provide any type of the data what you want to display. You can have integer, you can have string. Okay, I'll show you how to see that. So writes the specified string value followed by the current line terminator to the standard output stream. Exceptions will be the IO exceptions. Okay, so hello world is written. Now, what you have to make use of when you are using this IDE, make use of some refactor options, which I'll be discussing once I will start with the coding. The one refactor is using the code snippet. So if you write CW and press the tab, you will get console.writeLine. Okay, another way is to understand that what are the functions available. You have got console class. Okay, so this particular, you can say, is the console icon. Then this is your event handler, delegates. Okay, console key. Different options are available. I will discuss about that. Console dot. Okay, you have got write and WriteLine method. This is similar to print and the println method. Okay, so if you will use the dot, this is the method. This is the property. Okay, this particular symbol is property. This is the event. So any class is having the methods, properties, and the events. Okay, so what you can see here, this is the event. These are the properties and these are the methods. Okay, now I want to use the right line method and I'm simply using hello world. Okay, that's it. I have written only one statement. Now what you are supposed to do, you have to either go to the debug, you have got start debugging F5, but it will start your application in the debug mode. Okay, so if you want to debug your application, you can set the breakpoint and you can examine your code. And if you want start without debugging, Control plus F5. Simply you can use this option. This filled green color is only debugging. And this which is not filled, this is start without debugging. Okay, you can use a keyboard also. So if I'm going to select this, I will get the output of the main method. Okay, I'll get the output of the main method of the program.cs file. See here. So I'm getting hello world. After that, I'm getting this, the output, what is the path of the program, and press any key to close this window. Now, if you don't want this, then simply after this, you can write the console.read or read line. Okay, this is to read the input or read key, whatever you want, you can write that. And I'm going to run this. Okay, so now I'm not getting that, but I'm getting a cursor. Okay, so that the input, if you want to provide, you can provide the input here. But as of now, I don't want to provide. So if you press enter, then it will end. Okay, now this is the simple, console.writeLine I have written. Okay, now just one question I want to ask. If you are writing a method directly with the class, what the method is. I'm not creating object of the console class. I'm directly using class.writeLine. So what you can say about this writeLine method? See, I'm talking about oops here. Okay.
It is a static method.
Correct. It is a static method. What are static methods? What are static methods?
A method that are predefined.
What are static methods?
Ma'am, they are the first functions which are run when the starts or the file
You don't
is.
have to create the object of the class. Okay. See, if you will simply select this console, right click on this and go for go to definition. Okay, go to definition. Now what you see here is the metadata of this console class. So it is using system.diagnostic namespace, system.diagnostic.code analysis, system.io, everything. Okay, and then the namespace is system because console class is available in the system namespace. Okay, then this console class itself is a static class. And then the console class contains the properties with values. Okay, these are the static, you can say the objects available. Okay, so everywhere static is written, private is written. Okay, then there is the implementation given here. See here, everything you will find. See here. So what are the properties? What are the methods available in the console class? You will get the entire metadata about this particular class. Look here. Okay, the list is endless. See here. Now we have to understand this, okay? Later on, once we will start writing the code, this is the writeLine method because we have used writeLine method. So as you said correctly, it is a static method because static methods does not require the object of the class to be created and you can directly call this with the class name. Okay, so this writeLine method is a static method which is not taking any parameter. So it is simply going to give you a line break. Then this writeLine method can take a Boolean value. Okay, this writeLine method can take a character value. WriteLine can take a character array buffer. It can take these 3 parameters. That means writeLine method is a static method and it is overloaded. You can use the different type of the values to be passed here. And one more thing is that once you write this method right line, right, you can know from here also 1 of 18 means there are the 18 overload methods. Okay, so if you will select this drop down list from here, you will understand it. See, console.writeLine Boolean value you can pass. You can pass char value. Okay, you can pass char buffer, decimal value, double value. Okay, like that. Fine. So this is what, okay, I wanted to show you a very simple example. This is not the only way. Okay, but you wanted to get familiar with what is the Visual Studio and how the ID looks like. Okay, that is what I have shown you. Right? You can create different classes here by right clicking on this console application, add, okay, new class. Then you can create a new class here. Different classes can be created. But now one more thing I'll show you. Now this is the console application created. Okay, this is one project created. Now, if you right click on this, if you right click on the solution, right click on the solution. When you right click on the solution, you will get the add new project. And when you right click on the project, you will get add the new item. Class, interface, files, that type of items. And if you right click on the solution, you can add the new project, existing website, like that. So if I'm selecting a new project, I'm again taking a console app. Okay, so this will be console application 1. Okay, in the same solution, it will be created. Next, now I'm not using the top level statement. Just understand the difference. So when you are not using, do not use the top level statement, then what you will get? Okay, you are getting the program.cs file, okay, with only the console.writeLine hello world. This is the difference. That means here you are getting the main method. Explicitly main method is written, static void main, and within that hello world is written. But in this case, you are not having the main method, and simply console.writeLine hello world is mentioned. So the compiler is internally going to have the main method executed. You don't have to write the main method here. And now, if so in this particular solution, that is a container, you have got 2 projects. Okay, now what will happen when I will run this? Okay, so here we have got console application, and here we have got console application 1. So if I'm selecting console application 1, let me just write hello user, okay, so that we can know the different output. So console application 1, okay, so I'm going to run this. And you see hello user I'm getting. That means the console application 1 has executed. And here you can select console application. So the first application output you will get. Another way to change this is you can right click on the solution, go to the properties, and from here you can select the startup project. Okay, console application or console application 1. This way also you can do it. Okay, all these configuration setup, okay, we have to discuss. So later on. Okay, so as of now, I'm just showing that, okay, from here also you can change your startup project. From here also you can change your startup project. Okay, so multiple projects also you have to run. In the case of microservices, when you will create the different APIs, you need to run all the APIs. Then you can have the multiple startup projects, and you can specify here, okay, the particular path, okay, which applications will be running, okay, in that particular order. So this is how you can run the different project. Another thing is, now let us say that I'm taking this console application, okay, and here there is a program.cs file. So what will happen when you run this application? I'll get the output of this program. Okay, can I create different classes? Yes. Don't go on creating different projects. Create one solution, create the different project inside that, and within one project, create the different files inside it. Okay, so right click on the console application. You can properly structure your project. So I can go to the new folder. Let us say we are talking about OOPS. I can create an OOPS folder. Okay, then let us say I will be also taking what is delegates. So I can create a delegates folder. And within the OOPS folder, let us say I'm creating a new class. New item, if you will select, you will get what different, the template, okay, you want to add. So you have got the code, okay, you have got the data. These files you can add within a project, okay. So I'll take a class. So let us say I want to create a class, okay, as user.cs. So in the OOPS, I have created a user.cs. Okay, and here I'm going to create, let us say, a main method. Now what you have to do, you create the main method by using this SVM code snippet. So if you type SVM and press the tab, you will get the main method. And here I'm going to write, so let us say this is the user, okay. And after this, I'm going to write the console.read. Now console.read, you don't have any code snippet, okay. Code snippet is not available for read. Okay, now understand that in the console within this solution, you have got two projects, console application and console application 1. It is not that you cannot add other type of the projects. You can add Windows project, you can add web project, you can add any type of the project within the solution. Second is, within one project, I have got different C# files. Okay, so now if I'm going to, I want to run this user.cs. Now see, console application is already there. If I'm going to run this, I'll get the error. Why this error? I want to show you this error. The error is because your startup file should be only one file. You cannot have multiple classes with the main methods and you have not set which class should be the starting class. Then this error is there. So here, what is the error? Program has more than one entry point defined. Compile with /main to specify the type that contains the entry point. No problem in having multiple classes with multiple main methods in C#, but then set the startup class. And how you can set that? Now you right click on the console application and go to the properties, okay? And in the properties, right, what you have to do in the application general setting only, you will see here the startup object. So what is the output type? Output type is console application because we have created a console application. Okay, we will discuss about what is class library. Then what is the framework? .NET 8. See, .NET 8 is what currently I'm using. And then target OS, that will be Windows only. Startup object. Now I can select from here whether I want the program.cs as the startup or console application.oops.user as the startup program. So if I'm selecting this console application.oops.user as the startup object and I will run that, I will get user output. Okay, these things you should know in the Visual Studio. Okay, now if you will see the code here. Okay, now see here. What you see using system I'm getting here now, once I have added a different class. See here, I'm getting using system namespace is used here. Collections.generic, like in Java you're having, right? Import Java dot some net package or Java dot another packages, okay? So system.collections.generic to use the collection classes. System.linkQ for using the linkQ queries. System.text for regular expressions and working with the text. System.threading.tasks for implementing the parallel tasks, for implementing multi-threading. Okay. Similarly, when you create a project in .NET, okay, this console application is namespace. Then oops is the sub namespace. And within that, you have got the user class. Like system.linQ, similarly console application.oops. Okay, this is console application 1. But here, because main method is not there, but it is console application 1 only, right? And here you can see this particular path. Understand, this is how it works. We have to still learn, okay, when we'll be coming to the pre-built libraries, okay, what is system, what is DLL, how you can make use of this user class to be used in another application. If you have created your own DLL, how you can use that in another application. Okay, so this all we will be learning. As of now, please tell me, this much is clear about the basic of the .NET application? Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is this interface easy?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this interface easy? What you can see as of now? Okay, once you will install and you will use, okay, then you will get the practice. You will have the practice, okay, how to use, what is the solution, what is the project, okay, because n number of times anyways, we are going to use that, okay. Fine. Is this much clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. So, tomorrow I will start with what is .NET framework. Okay. Again, we have got this particular architecture to be discussed in detail. What is assembly and what is the framework architecture? And then we will start with the actual coding part. Okay. Fine. So what I will do, last 5 minutes, okay, before I stop with the session. So few questions I need to ask, right? Okay. What is the meaning of cross-platform? Anyone can answer. With respect to .NET, what we have, done today.
It can run on multiple OS like on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, anyone.
Right. Okay. So that is the meaning of cross-platform. So which implementation of the .NET platform will give you this particular feature of developing the cross-platform application?
.NET.
The
CLR. Correct. .NET. Okay. Because I'm talking about the implementations. Fine. What is CLR?
Common language runtime.
Common language runtime.
Anyone can tell about what is the compilation and the execution process?
The language compiles to the C# or C#, the C# compile code, and then it compiles to the common language, and that the CLR uses JIT to compile it to the machine code.
Correct. Okay. So you can develop the application using any programming language, and then you will be getting this particular code compiled into the CLR compatible, that is known as the CIL. After that, JIT is used to compile that into the native language. That is what is the CLR. Okay, right. What are the 3 languages, officially languages by Microsoft, which is used to develop the application?
Ma'am, C#, F#, and VB.
Yes, VB.NET. Okay, that is VB.NET. Fine. Good. What is .NET Core?
.NET Core is a cross-platform version of .NET Framework
Right.
that was developed for Mac OS, Linux, and
Right. Okay. So, I mean, now it is known as .NET, because it is unified now. Okay. What framework will be used for developing web applications? ASP.NET. Okay, that is ASP.NET. Okay, now there were few questions. Let me just check now the chat. Okay. Yeah, see, we will discuss about the applications which are built, okay, using the .NET, because the list is endless. You will have the application built for enterprise and business like CRM, ERP systems, example, Dynamics 365 payroll system, okay, inventory, supply chain, then online bookstore like Book Bazaar project, retail and B2B commerce site, okay, real estate, job boards, okay, cross-platform mobile apps is developed. Chat apps, real-time application, which is built using Signal R in .NET, okay. So there are different types of the applications developed, okay. So that we'll be discussing. And how .NET is different from Java and whether C# is more secure or Java, we need to understand the difference with respect to various factors. Okay, there is no one line answer whether this is more secure or this is less secure, because there are multiple factors needs to be considered, how the security is implemented in Java and how it will be implemented in .NET. Okay, so once we complete this particular module, okay, about .NET framework, then we will be discussing the difference, because with every aspect you need to understand the difference. The security implementations are different. Okay, so we cannot just say, because applications are developed using different languages, as I said earlier, depending on different factors. Okay, so that we will discuss. Okay, don't worry. As of now, please understand the basics. Okay, start from the basics. Okay, .NET framework we will understand, then we will understand. Once you have got the clear picture of what is .NET, what is .NET framework, then we will discuss what different types of the applications can be built. Okay, what is the security implementation, which is more secure, what type of application should be developed in Java, what should be developed in .NET. Okay, step by step we will go through. So as of now, don't get into the details in this first section. Okay. Who has written this? Ankit. I have just started Node.js for backend part. I want to ask for placement point of view. Should I go with MERN or learn C#? See, MERN is also okay to be used if you are using Node.js. Okay, but since you are using now learning, okay, the C#, okay, do that also, because understand one thing, when you get into the corporate, please understand one thing, when you get into the corporate, okay, today if you are getting if you are getting a project, okay, to work on Node.js, assume, or you are getting a project to work on Python, and that project will be of a certain duration, okay, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. So after that project is completed, you will be put into a different project, which will be completely on a different platform. Please don't assume that you will have only one type of the platform or the application to be worked on. Once you are placed, okay, you will have different projects which are on different platforms. So today, if you're working on Java, tomorrow you may get, after a few months, you may get a project on .NET. After that, you may get a project on some other, technology stack, right? So don't have that particular, just one technology stack you need to learn. Please get the knowledge on everything. And once again, if you're getting placed into an organization, you will be getting trained on different technologies on what you will be getting the project on. Okay, but as of now, what should be your priority is to learn this particular C#. Okay, and see that this is easy because you have also done Java, right? So I hope this is clear. So as of now, your task is only to prepare, okay, learn and prepare whatever trainings you are getting. Okay, so that is a different that will take time once you will start giving interviews and getting placed, right? So we will discuss more on that later on. Fine, but you have to be open to learn everything that happens in the corporate. Okay, fine. Is this much clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, anyone from the XLR team? So I have completed with the session. You can go ahead with the other session which you need to take.
Yes, actually, I'm here from Expert.
Amar, right? Amar, can I leave now? You can continue with
Just
the session.
give me the host access and you can leave.
Okay. So tomorrow, everyone tomorrow, please join, okay, on time so that we can start the session on time, right? Thank you, everyone.
How long the session will run? Like how many days?
It is still till 21st June, I guess, right, Amar?
As of now, it's not confirmed, but we'll get the clarity on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So I think
Yeah, I will just reclaim the host access from the list.
yeah, I've given. Anyway.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Okay, you got it right now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I will see.
Thank you, everyone. Please go through. Amar, I'll share this, the documents.
You can
and
upload into the
provide
drive.
them.
Students will
Okay.
get it via LMS.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, dear students, we'll just take a 10 more minutes for the LMS KT session and then we'll wind up for the time. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. So those who are registered to share the registration link. So they already received the LMS access to their mail ID. And those who not registered, if they are going to register in the future, like today or today end of the day, so you will be getting the access. So no need to worry on that part. Okay. So guys, you need to check your email. So you will receive another 2 emails from outside. First email is account details. Okay. So you will find this email from the XLR solution. So with the account details, in that you will find a portal link, username and password. Okay, so you're not required to set your password or there is no any another process. Okay, so you will find the portal link directly. With that, you will find the username and password. Okay, so with that confirmation, this is the account details. You will receive one more mail. The mail is booking confirmation for your course. Okay, so for example, I'm showcasing you one program you received that, right? Student development program on GenAI. So likewise, as per your course, you are already received the one mail for this C# training program. Okay. And again, in the future, those who are going to register, everybody will receive the mail. Okay. So now what to do towards to accessing the LMS or to get the details? What is the use of LMS, right? So whatever the sessions you join via link, so from tomorrow onwards, you're not going to receive the links. You need to join the session via LMS itself. You will find the recording of that session over the LMS. Additionally, material, attendance form, assignment, assessment, everything will be conducted via LMS. And more on that, your attendance will be captured from the LMS itself and that will be shared with your college. Okay. On a daily basis, attendance will be tracked and like it's not that at all key you joined and left the session. Your time of whatever you're spending over the Zoom and over the session, that all things will be captured. Okay. So now, just for example, I'm clicking on this portal link. Okay. So what next? Let me reshare my screen and I will show you. Once we click on the link, we'll receive the next page and what is the next steps from there. Okay. So that is the LMS URL. So once we click on that URL, here you will find the course, contact us, login and sign up. Okay. So those who are registered member not required to do a sign up or there is no any another process. Simply click onto the login. And you can provide your registered mail ID and password, which you are already received your mail. Same, you can use that later on. If you want to forget your password, if you want to change your password, then you can use this option as the forgot password and you can change. But for now, whatever the password you received, so first time activity, you need to do a login to the LMS. Okay. So once you log in, so here you will find this dashboard and the dashboard, you will get the overview of the courses. So as I'm a member of XLR, I have a couple of classroom access on my dashboard, but let's focus on C# and .NET training program on Git. Okay. So here you can check on home, you will find the classroom. And now first thing, let's check if you want to join the session on a daily basis, how we will join the session, right? So you can check here in the today's session tab, you are able to see the join now option. Okay. If you want to join this tomorrow session, sharp at 9:45 or by 10 o'clock, you will find the join button. You can join the session using calendar as well. You can check here in the calendar, you will find, okay, so whatever the sessions are planned for you, you will be able to see your calendar from here also, you are able to join the session. Okay, clear? So see, all the sessions, whatever we plan this week, you can check a month-wise, day-wise, or weekly, you can check the sessions. So we added in your calendar. Okay, now, as I mentioned that you will get the rest of things like course material, attendance, assignments. So where you will find that. So let's open the my courses and I will check for that course for the KIT University. Okay. So yes, I'm clicking here. So first of all, I already shared one link into the chat box regarding to the attendance and feedback. So from tomorrow onwards, you are not going to receive that link. You need to mark your attendance from here itself. Okay. So I'm clicking onto the attendance and feedback, and here you will find one external link. You need to click on that. You need to open the link, and one Google form will be visible, and you need to fill the details on a daily basis. This is the mandatory. Every day you need to fill these details. Okay. Going back onto the dashboard, you will find the program agenda. So tentative agenda for that program, whatever we are going to cover. So you will find that agenda here. You can go through that, and you will find all the details here itself. Then material. So whatever the material ma'am are going to conduct, ma'am are going to showcase in the session, the same material ma'am will upload into the OneDrive. You can check now whatever ma'am covered, that PDF and that all these links are updated here. So whenever you are using this drive, you need to just download the material and then use that. Okay, you will be having the download access of that. Okay. Below that, if any assignments we are going to share, you will be able to find that assignment here itself. Okay. So now this is about the lessons, whatever you will get as a curriculum. Okay. So let's go back into the classroom, class records. So if you want to record, if you want to find the recording of that particular session, if today's session, so after 1 or 2 hours of a completion of the session, you will find the play recording option here. You can check here for yesterday's. I just for the showcasing purpose, I created one